Hello and welcome to the Museum of the Southeast American Indian. We are on the campus of UNC Pembroke in North Carolina, and today I come to you underneath our brush arbor that is inside of our Discovery Center and is open to all of our visitors. I am Alisha Locklear Monroe, the museum educator here, and today we're going to be talking about gorgets, and we are going to create our very own gorget necklace. So this is an activity that you can do with your kids at home. Teachers, you can do this inside of your classroom, and then also you can come and visit the museum and you could create your very own gorget necklace too as well. Gorgets are pendants that are worn, and usually they're pretty large, and American Indians carved designs inside of the gorgets. The materials that were used to make gorgets were gourds, shell, stone, and even metals like copper and silver. And they're very distinctive, and different tools were used to create the designs that were on these gorgets. And your designs were centered around cosmology, religion, different line designs, nature, and all of the designs meant something and depicted something very particular. So we're going to look at some finished products of some gorgets when we're finished, but to start your activity, you will need Model Magic, and Model Magic can be purchased at craft stores. You can order it online. It's pretty cheap. It's sort of like Play-Doh, but it's very clean. I like to use the white Model Magic because we're going to add color. You also will need string. We use hemp in the museum. You can use sinew, yarn, any type of material to add to make your necklace. We also use a simple toothpick. A toothpick will be used to add designs into your pendant, and then we also use plastic pottery tools too as well. Some interesting things that you can pick up too to add designs. We use corn cobs. If you take a corn cob once it has grown and it has dried, and you take the corn off of the cob, these cobs, just the natural cob without the corn, adds a beautiful texture to anything. It's used in clay a lot, and if you just wanted to add something interesting as far as like your background in your pendant, the cob would be an interesting thing to use. I like to use acorn tops. I have a lot of oak trees at my house, and so I love the acorn tops, the textures that they add. We also have wood paddles that we have made, just actual cooking spoons, and we drew some southeastern designs on these paddles, and then we used a Dremel tool and carved the designs in. And so these are great to just add a simple design with our younger kids. If you want to try your hand at that, that would be great too as well. The last thing that you will need is some type of beads, and we just use plastic pony beads. If you want to put some shell on yours, that would be really great. And then you would need some scissors to cut your string. So first of all, we start with sort of like a golf ball size of Model Magic. And you want to roll it in a ball and think about the shape that you want for your gorget necklace. A lot of them, our kids, they make a simple, circular shape. You could lie it down or lay it down on a table, and you can use a tool to kind of carve out and do like a heart shape. The great thing about Model Magic is you can kind of manipulate it in a very easy way. It doesn't take much. Just some little pushing and pulling is all it takes. Here, I'm going to try to do a heart shape real quick. But this is the thing about Model Magic. You don't want to work with it too much, because if you do, it heats up and it becomes more pliable, and it's harder to work with. You don't want it to become too soft. So once you come up with a shape that you like, I have sort of this heart shape. And once you come up with your shape, then you can take different tools and you can add texture. You can add in whatever designs that you want. I'm going to try my hand at one of these paddles. I'm just going to take the paddle and lightly press my Model Magic into it. You can't press too hard. And then it picks up the impression of whatever you use. And then again, of course, I love these acorn tops. So I'm going to take my top and I'm going to add an accent with my acorn impression all around. And we'll show you some detail shots too as well. And then you just kind of need to pick your design and kind of be done with it, and not mess with it too much. And so here I have sort of like a woodpecker design, and I use the acorn tops around the edges. After that, what you want to do is you need to make a hole. You're not going to string it right away because your Model Magic needs time to dry. So you want to take a toothpick or some other type of tool like that, about 1/4 of an inch from the edge of where, think about the top and where you want it to hang from on your string. Take your toothpick and stick it in your Model Magic and then just swirl around until you're opening that hole right up. And you want to leave a good decent size hole, especially if your stringing material is really thick. If it's a little bit thinner and skinnier, then your hole doesn't have to be so big. And then once you get, I've got my texture, I've got my design, I have my hole in the top, then what I want to do is I can take marker and I can color, add color to my pendant. And then what you want to do is you want to let your pendant dry. You want to put it in a windowsill, leave it on like a plastic plate or something like that, and let it dry for a couple days, and let the air get to it. Don't stick it in a plastic bag. And then your pendant will sort of dry, and then you can string it. You would add your string through, put your beads on it, your shell, whatever you would like, and then we just add a double knot to it. Here are some examples, some finished examples, and this was actually created by a visitor here in the museum. We provide shells too as well. So this visitor pressed their Model Magic into shell, which is really cool. And she had enough, she split hers and she made 2 separate pendants and added 2 loops. So hers is really simple. She didn't add on any beads or anything. And then this is another one. And these are actually colored with highlighter. So highlighters, washable markers, permanent markers, watercolors are even cool on Model Magic. So it's a really simple, easy craft. Once it's hard, you don't have to worry about it. So we hope that you try your hand at that. Our students really love this activity. We also want to showcase a couple pieces that we have here at the museum, some contemporary designs. Here we have a shell that was carved by Mr. Andy Grant. He is Eastern Band Cherokee in North Carolina. And here he has depicted the water spider design. And this water spider tells the story of the first fire for the Cherokee people. And he has a story that we'll post that goes behind the depiction of this design. And he uses a Dremel tool and other tools to carve his designs into a whelk shell. And this piece is taken from a larger whelk shell. And then he adds color with ink. It's a beautiful design. So we haven't added it to a string, but this is sort of our example piece that we have here in the museum in our Discovery Center for what a real gorget would look like carved out of a shell. Also, we have this contemporary piece that is done by Mr. Tim Locklear II, and he designs jewelry for Sinead's Jewelers. That is his family's jewelry shop here in town in Pembroke. And so this is a contemporary piece, and this is what you would call inlay. And this is made out of different stones like opal and mother of pearl and coral. And here you have depicted a woodpecker and a 4 directions design that is based on an ancient southeastern design. So as you can see, Gorget necklaces are still made today. They are created by Native artists and are appreciated thousands of years later. And a lot of our artists are going back and looking at Gorget necklaces or Gorget pendants that have been found and then depicting that in their work today, which is a really great way to sort of bring the past into the present. So we encourage you to make your very own Gorget necklace. We would love for you to post them on our page too as well. And come and visit us. Visit us under the Brush Arbor and have this experience for yourself too as well. We thank you and we hope to see you soon.